aloha from everyone. Aloha. So, my name is Rob Tennis, one of the directors at East, and we've got a ton to talk about tonight. We're gonna try to go as fast and as efficiently as possible. And in the band app, the slides should just have been posted on there, and so you can follow along there. And if they're not, you aren't plugged into that, we'll take care of that here in a little bit. So you just have to understand, this is quite an undertaking, traveling 276 people, 233 kids, 43 staff, chaperones, and followers. And we're going 4,500 miles away from home. And so it's an undertaking just in itself, but then to merge the logistics of these two just Ohio's best organizations. And so we've come really a long way in 1 week. But there are differences in how these two organizations operate, and that's all totally fine. You know, we communicate differently when we travel. You know, some people have lanyards, no lanyards. We travel with a school nurse that has, you know, so it's all fine, because here's what we all just need to remember, is at the end of the day, we're just all working for the exact same thing. For our kids to have a fun, safe, and unforgettable trip with their friends to Hawaii, okay? So let's get started. So we'll just see how this works here. This is a new thing for me, so start new, great. So up here, I've put this back channel. So if you go through and you have questions, you can have your phone and you can type them in there. I just need to keep you remember a couple things. Number one, all questions are visible to everyone. What is it that you're going to say? Don't, Mr. Selleck.
Questions that affect 3 or more people?
Only questions that affect 3 or more people, and it can't start with what if.
Is that always ends with?
So no what if questions, and your question has to affect more than 3 people. Yeah, okay. And at the end, we'll scroll through these, and collectively, our beehive mind up here will look at that. And anything that we don't answer here tonight, we'll make sure that we do in the band. Okay, so we have 11 staff members traveling with us, and I just think as a parent myself, it's just kind of nice to know, you know, how these kids are, you know, who's responsible here. So on the east side, for myself, Mr. Desmond, right here, okay, and then Miss Orosky Mitchell and Mr. Oliver. The titles there, what they do for us, kind of in the indoor active. So where's Miss Orosky Mitchell? Back there. Okay, so she teaches choir over at Liberty, and then where's Jeremy Oliver? So he's an instructional aide at Endeavor, okay, and then Mrs. Brady, our school nurse, is right here. And then on the west side, you all know Mr. Carr, Mr. Selleck, and then Mr. Todal. Mr. Todal, he's really the director of bands here because he has his foot in both buildings, right? He's got 2 lanyards. Okay, and then we've got our guard staff from Lakota West here, Mrs. Jackson, Mrs. Kidwell, and then school nurse, Mrs. Demler, over here from West, so thank you. And then a huge shout out to Doug Hurst, because he's not going to Hawaii, but he is, you know, in the trenches, making all the percussion do their thing. So big round of applause to Doug Hurst. Okay, so just a couple of things to keep in mind is the way this has all been organized. There is a staff member on each flight group, in some cases multiple staff members, and there's always a staff member on the coaches, on the 5 coaches when we're in Hawaii. Okay, and so these are the real people that make all this happen, because, you know, even though it's a holiday in Hawaii, it's still a lot of work to make this happen. So the East chaperones, if you just like stand up where you are, it's just nice as a parent to see, you know, who we are. So we've got Lisa Gowdy back there, yeah, and then we've got Kim and John Hall. Where are they at? There's John, Kim's back there. Yep, thank you. Mary and Trent Patrick. There's Trent. Mary's, yep. And then Krista Sexton. She's back there. Tina and Roger Wright. And Beth Yost. Okay, great. And then the West chaperones, Karen Ballinger, right here. Charity Figley. Stay standing up there. Stay standing up. All right, Melinda Fuller. Monica Hennessy, Jennifer Himmelstein, Stephanie King, James Kershaw, and Bridget Negrete, Daniel Mahoney, Jeffrey November, and Michelle Rowe. Thank you all. How about a big round of applause for these people? Okay, so if you don't get these tonight, you should get them, in the near future. Okay, so everybody's going to walk out here with 2 luggage tags. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do with those. The Hawaii uniform top, the guard, the uniform, I think we've got that figured out, and the pink Hawaii shirt from Gateway. And we'll talk about where those all things. But those are the things that you should walk out of here with. All right, so this is one of the big things that we just do differently. And over on our side, this is year 3 for us, 4? I don't remember. Well, I think it's 3 years that we've been using this band app, and we were very skeptical at first, very skeptical. And it's incredible what it opens up for communications. So here's what we need for everyone to do, is that every single kid traveling needs to be on this app. Okay? And so as of 2:30 today, we had, if I do math, like almost 70 people that were not plugged into this. And it's a little bit scary because this is our mode of communication. So here's the thing, if you scan that, pause for a moment, if you scan that right now at your favorite TV, you can get plugged in right now because you're going to see all the wealth of information. Oh yeah, it does not work on the Lakota Wi-Fi. All kinds of things I can say, but I'm not. So I'll leave it up there because there's a couple things that we can talk about and that all are part of this. So how do we utilize this band? We call it the band, but we're all the band, but it's also the name of the app. I don't like that part, but whatever. So we post all of our announcements, schedule details, and reminders. Okay? And there's a chat messages feature in there. So the way that we have that configured is staff can post on the main page, kind of like operates like Facebook, post and send messages. Chaperones can send messages. Kids can always send messages to staff members and chaperones. Kids cannot send messages to each other. Okay, and so this is something to keep in mind because when we utilize this during the season, we kind of pull it down and it's just our group. It's just the 200 plus kids that are in marching band. Okay, but in this trip, as a parent, I would like to know what's going on if I'm here in Ohio. And so we want to leave everybody in there. There's like 500 and some people in there. It's great. Okay, we reach a max of 1,000, so we're not going to get there. But just something to keep in mind, okay, is that it's not a forum, we go over this every year with our kids, it's not a forum for mindless banter. It's a tool for communication and the dissemination of information. And it's not really a conversation. It's a way for us as the people kind of helping guide this trip to make sure everybody has the information they need. And then if there's a question for them to ask us, and one of us will get back to them, okay? So again, non-travelers are welcome to stay in and keep a tab on everything that's happening. But we just ask that you don't engage in conversation in the chat, okay? That's all it is. So all the travel documents, as some of you have already discovered, they're all uploaded and posted in there. And we'll continue to update because this is all evolving, right? And so as things change, well, it's really easy for us to update that. So this is a feature that we've never used before, and I think this is the perfect opportunity to test drive it. So there's a feature in there called location sharing. Okay, and we're going to talk about this when we get to this slide. But when there's free time and kids are going off the hotel property, okay, they're going to check, confirm it all with their chaperone, and then we're going to ask that one person in that group turn on this location service, so that just an added level of comfort, okay, we kind of know where these kids are, and then we're going to talk about the parameters and the boundaries of everything. Okay. I've set it up in there already, there's a daily photo dump. We did this when we went to St. Louis, and it was just super fun. The kids just at the end of the trip just threw a bunch of photos in there, and it's just kind of fun to see what everybody's experiencing, kind of that camaraderie together. So everybody will have the ability to dump pictures in there. The chaperones, we've got it set up so that, if to take attendance on the buses, for the chaperones to communicate with their kids directly in the group. So even though there's a whole bunch of people in there, it's really narrowed down. And then here's the thing that, you as a parent at home, you can turn off the notifications, right? Yeah, I'm not interested in all this. And it's, there's a time difference, I'm aware of that. So some of the things might not be pertinent at 3 in the morning for you. So, but all the kids need to make sure that you have those notifications turned on, because that's the power of this whole thing, is that we're pushing this information directly to you. One channel right to you, so that you know that it's clean and consistent, okay? So hopefully everybody's had a chance. So here's the stuff that's up there now, right? So it's the hotel and rooming. There's a hotel map, which I think is great. Ms. Ballage, I think you said that hotel map, I think it's great. So there's chaperone and student documents, they have the list of like contact things, it's just all up there. Okay, the bus assignments, the itinerary, flight groups, general information, like information from Gateway, things to do on Waikiki, the clickable links, I love clickable links, and then a packing list we'll get to, okay? All right, so here's just some of the things that we need to say up front before we get to some of the fun stuff. So, you can't go anywhere alone. Okay, we're traveling halfway across the planet. Okay, 3 or more, We always like more. And you know, I always say that if you wouldn't do it or say it in front of any of us or your parents, then you should stop and think differently. Come up with a different decision. And so you have to remember that you really are ambassadors for this whole region of the country. We're going out there, our performances are in commemoration for the attack on Pearl Harbor. We're playing at Pearl Harbor. I mean, this is a serious thing, and so we have to act professional and be that. We will always establish, lights out. We can't talk about that now. I mean, it just kind of depends on what's going on, right? And students are not allowed to be in their room by themselves. Okay, you're never allowed to go in anybody else's room. We're all either all in the room or you're all not in the room. Okay, and you have to remember that this is a district-sponsored event. Okay, so all the code of conduct, everything applies to that. And really, school disciplinary and legal action if you make some bad decisions. Okay? And so we have to just say it, because if you vape, you smoke, you do drugs, you drink, that's all a problem, and we're gonna find out. And you just have to remember that if we have probable cause, we contact our administrators and we're searching your stuff.
Here's the other thought. You are flying in an airplane, which means you go through TSA, your bags will be checked, and your person will be checked. So on this stuff, like that's also the big thing, because you will not have a good time if you get caught in the airport with any of those things, and you won't actually make it there anyway. And as a person who tried to fly with scissors by accident one time, I don't recommend it.
I knew you were savory with scissors. Okay, and so just a couple other things here. So free time, because there is free time built in, because I mean, my goodness, we're in Hawaii. I mean, we don't have every single moment scripted out, which is unusual for us in this activity, because normally it's like go, 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 and it's like, oh no, island time, okay? Sort of. Okay, so free time. So again, no one permitted alone in the room, and yeah, we already did that. Okay, so family time. So I know there are a lot of families that are going, and we don't want to say you can't hang out with your family. So as long as we've coordinated with the chaperones and we know what the time frame is, and you're not missing any activity that's scheduled with us, it's okay. I mean, they're your parents. They trump anything that we do, right? So the only thing that you have to remember is that none of the family members can join us for any of the ticketed events or private scheduled meals or anything like that, because that's all part of the package, and so they can't do that. There are plenty of places to hang out at this hotel. I've been to this hotel, and it's great. There's plenty of places. It's not your typical hotel, I promise. Okay, so, yeah.
So one thing for West I just want to say is East has done this already, but we will have sign-out sheets. So it's not a phone call. You have to come, sign out the time that you're signing your kid out, and make sure that you're getting them back and signed in by the agreed upon time. So just keep that in mind for your West parents.
Parent only.
Parent only, legal guardian only.
Okay, and then just type stuff in the chat. Okay. Okay, so you just have to coordinate. So kids, you have to coordinate with your chaperone. Okay, so there's all kinds. You just walk down just a little bit down Waikiki Beach there, and it's like right there. It's like this little hut. And you're like, oh, they do surf lessons. Like, I can do that. You can do that. It's fine. Okay, you gotta pay for it, and it's not included, right? So that's between you and your parents. So sometimes sometimes there are rental waivers, and that's something that you just have to work out with your chaperone. Kind of one of those things, right? I mean, I do it, I guess. All right, so here we go. Free time boundaries. So, it doesn't really work to do this, but right there in the center, there's a pointer, but it doesn't work. See right there, Hilton Hawaiian Village. Nobody can see that, especially in the back, sorry. Okay, but that's the Hilton Hawaiian Village is kind of in the center of this lasso. Okay, and so like this international marketplace way down here, this tip, right, and this Royal Hawaii, this is a great place, you know, and then we're gonna be, we have like lunch here. The Hard Rock Cafe is like right here where we do a lot of our eating. And then, you know, to get over to this shopping center is super cool. Hilo Hattie's is over there, and so that's a ride. It's like a $2 thing, and it's fine. The people on the ground, so the Gateway people and our local tour guides, we're gonna talk to all the kids, and we're just gonna like script it out. They're gonna know exactly how to do all those things. Okay, and it'll be posted in the band. But then, I mean, we have this, and this will be up in the boundary. But like, if you go and you're gonna go all the way down to the international marketplace during free time, it's totally fine. That's what we want to know. You're gonna work it out with your chaperone, and then you're gonna turn on the location service so that we know where you are, just in case, right? It's insurance policy. And then at the beginning of every free time, we're gonna, like in the band, push out exactly just reminders about where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do, how to do it, just so that you don't have to remember, because you're kids, right? You're on vacation. All right, and so now I'm gonna turn the mic over to Mrs. Brady and these two. That I mean, they're taking care of all of our kids for the entire time. So thank you guys. Here we go.
Hey everybody. So I kind of want to paint a picture of what it looks like with medication, because I know a lot of people have had questions about it. So I just want you to know that it's like a flying oiled machine. Once we get it rolling, there's a list for a list for a list for a list. So we know where your kids are. But initially, all medications should have come in by tonight. If they haven't come in, hopefully you've talked to Christine or I about an alternate time, but we absolutely cannot accept anything after Thursday. That's our hard and steady final date. Just for the nature of we're gone for 7 or 8 days, we've got to get everything ready. We've got to get things ready to go. We want to make sure everybody knows kids can't carry any sort of medication whatsoever, Tylenol, ibuprofen, anything. They can't carry anything with them, with the exception of an inhaler or an EpiPen, Auvi-Q, those kind of things. But if they carry those, we should have on file an order form that states that yes, indeed, they can self-carry. Okay? And the diabetes stuff, of course, yes. Stock medications, there's a stock medication order form if you want your student to be able to have those things. It includes Tums, Claritin, Tylenol, all those items. It has to be completed by both a parent and a physician. And then once you have that, they'll have access to those medications wherever we are. The nurses will be able to give it to them, and then in lieu of us, there's going to be staff members and chaperones that are available to give medications as well. The way it works with giving out medications, in the mornings what we generally do is we'll find a location, we'll let the students know through the band app, we'll send out a message that says, hey, medications are available in the lobby across from the Flamingo, I don't know, between now and say 7 o'clock, whatever it is. And we are going to try and do the morning ones before we leave for breakfast most days because, generally we're going to be going on from somewhere from breakfast. So if your student needs to eat with their medication, maybe in their luggage send a granola bar, send something that they can eat along with it if it's too long for them to go, a half hour or something to get their medications once we give it to them. The afternoon ones, wherever we are, we'll take those with us, and so we'll send another message for anybody that has a lunchtime med, hey, we're available whatever location we are at for the picnic or whatever, and just come find us, and then kids can come see us then. We make it work. If we are not directly there to give the medication, there's a staff member or a chaperone that will be available to give it. On the airplanes, medications will travel with a nurse if there's a nurse on the plane. If there's not, it'll be with a trained staff member or trained chaperone. So all of your students' medications will be on their flight with a staff member or chaperone. So everything will travel with them, in case there's luggage that's lost or, you know, delays, whatever the case may be. Anything else? Oh, so there's something called an e-card. It's kind of like the old emergency medical forms. Those are available in final forms now. It's something that everybody should have filled out when they completed final forms. If you haven't completed final forms, or if there's anything that needs updated in final forms, please do it now. We've already started printing those off, and for West, they are giving each student a lanyard that has the e-card in it. And then we also are going to have those with adults everywhere. They'll be on the planes with the adults, the chaperones, the staff members. They'll be with chaperones on the buses. They'll be with chaperones when we're out and about. So they'll be with your student everywhere. So if, God forbid, there is any sort of emergency, we will have information that's needed to get a hold of you, or any, you know, medical history that we need to know, those kind of things. So just know that information is out there too. We're kind of information vomiting for this trip, it feels like, giving everybody lots of information, staff-wise, chaperone-wise, because we want to make sure we can keep your kiddos safe. So just know that we're doing everything we can to make that happen. Okay?
Thank you. All right, let the information continue. So one of the things that is like the most challenging is just getting everybody from here to there. Okay? And just a show of hands, how many of you have never flown before? Okay, all right. So this is gonna be great because you're on some cool airplanes. As a pilot myself, I just tell you, you're on some cool airplanes. All right, so here's how this works. Okay, so everyone is allowed to have one check bag. The fee for that check bag is already included. And the check bag can be no more than 50 pounds. So you need to weigh that at home, right? You need to figure that out and weigh that, because if you get up there and it's over 50 pounds, then you're gonna have a problem, because that part is not included, okay? It's Hawaii. You don't have to pack the bulky clothes. Just leave them at home. You're not taking the Xbox, just leave everything here. Be outside, you can't be in your room anyway. Okay, things to remember, there is no volume limit that has nothing to do with sound. There's no volume limit to the liquid products that you're putting in your checked luggage. I have to tell you though, don't just throw a bottle of shampoo in there, for those of you who haven't done this, because you'll get there and all of your clothes will have shampoo all over it. Put it in a bag. I put it in another bag just to be safe. So use the gallon bags, right? And put that stuff in there. Shampoo, sunscreen, right? We're closer to the equator, so there's a little bit of sun thing. I know we're all coming out of band and we've got these nice tans, but we're working on some more tans, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, this is a good one. You can't lock your suitcase because TSA has to be able to get into it. Okay, so don't lock it because they'll just cut that off anyway, so save them the hassle. So everyone gets one carry-on bag. It'll go in the overhead bin. It's like those roll bags. Okay, that's a small suitcase duffel bag. And then a personal item that can go under the seat in front of you. A purse, a small backpack, anything like that. And so here's the things as you go through security, and we're gonna cycle on some of this stuff. Is going to get repeated because it's important. It's really the 3-1-1 rule. 3-1-1 rule is 3.4 ounces of liquid, and I know we have props here. Okay. So this is good. So in a quart-size bag, so 3.1 ounces, okay, and so that's not very much, okay? So like, I put stuff in the checked luggage. Lotion, okay, it's small, right? So those of you in the back, it's like, you can even see it so small. Spray, right?
This isn't toothpaste, but this is about the size of a toothpaste.
Nice. Yeah, okay, and then in a quart bag. Now, I'm gonna tell you what. Yes. And so, all of that liquid has to be in that clear plastic bag. Sometimes they make you pull it out in security, sometimes they don't. All you have to do is just, follow directions, respond appropriately. Here's what Mr. Carr is going to do. No scissors or nail clippers, okay? There it is. Okay, so nothing for you. Now, they will allow food to be in there, just keep it in there. But now when it comes to beverages, right, so nothing, okay? You can't take anything like that. They're going to take it from you, even though it looks cool. You can take a water bottle, right? There can't be anything in it. So you can take like my Yeti. I'm like, I want to take my Yeti. I get the coffee in the morning. It's great. Take it, put it in your check bag, and have it there. You can't go through security with any liquid like that. Now, once you get through security, you can buy your water bottle, everything, and pay like $35 for that. So, sorry, that's just how it is. Okay, so here's how we were talking about this today as a staff. So the check things are going under. All the check things are covered for the cost. It's all included. The overages, because the sousaphone is not, well, I don't know, maybe it is. But so the flags, the percussion, all those things go underneath the plane. Okay, so flutes and clarinets. So I'd put it in your check bag or in your carry-on bag. Don't give them your flute and have it go under the plane. You're never going to see it again. I'm just serious, okay? So put it in your bag. So here's the thing that concerns us is case integrity. And what do I mean by that? Is your case going to do its job and protect the investment? I'm a trumpet player. In fact, we've got 4 trumpet players up here right now, and none of us would put our trumpet underneath the plane. It's going on the plane with me. I'm going to treat it like my baby, okay? So, altos and trumpet, they're in that zone where you could carry that up. Now, it comes at a cost, and as a fellow trumpet player, I understand. That becomes your carry-on. Okay, so I became creative, I found ways to put other stuff in the trumpet case. I'm like, oh, I can fit headphones down there, I can fit the neck pillow in the bell. This is great, okay? And I need to cycle back one thing as I talked about that, is valve oil is considered a liquid, okay? And so, just for those of you that know what that is. Land-only kids, okay, this came up, land-only kids, so I'm talking to you. So these kids that are meeting us in Hawaii, they have different travel arrangements. So what you have to do is find a friend that you trust, and they're going to be responsible for getting your instrument to and from Hawaii for you. Isn't that nice of them? It's so nice. So you have to find that person and give that to them and entrust them with that. Make sense? It's all covered, so we might as well utilize that. Here's the other thing and we'll help you with this, but as I found before, as we travel with instruments, if you put a piece of tape over the luggage, over the latch on the case, that just sometimes helps that, because again, you can't lock it because the TSA, they might open up that sousaphone. I hope they don't play it, but they can open it up, right? So if you put a piece of tape over that, like not a piece of Scotch tape, like tape, right? It's going to be fine. Okay, so here we go. We talked about the gateway luggage tag. So everybody's going to end up with 2. Okay, and so here's the thing is that I need you to understand because you think that, oh, they're just luggage tags, but there's a purpose once we were on the ground in Hawaii. So they must be placed on every single person's checked piece of luggage, where all your clothes and shampoo and bags and all that is. All that has to have a luggage tag on it. Okay, and then your instrument. Okay, like, well, I don't have an instrument. Well, then fine. Fine. But like every piece of equipment that goes under the plane that we're checking has to have. Okay, and then here's the thing: is even though your flute, Aurora, is in you're sitting right here, is in your checked luggage, you have to put your luggage tag on that flute because of what's going to happen later on. We'll get to it in a minute. Okay. Same thing with trumpets and saxophones. Every instrument, every piece of luggage, flag bag, drum cases, cymbal, however we're going to do that, we'll figure that out again. Okay, and so all other travelers, so those of you that are like chaperones, it just has to be on your checked luggage. That's it. Okay, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. And so here's the other important feature, and this is a must. You have to put your name and information on there. You can't put like your parents' name. It has to be you, because what's going to happen is when we get to the hotel, you're going to get the luggage off the belt in Honolulu, and then you're going to put it in a place, and then the next place you're going to see it is in your hotel room. Okay, it's first class service. So they have to know if it says somebody else's name, they're never going to know. Okay, yep.
The name that's on your plane ticket too.
The name that's on your plane ticket.
On your plane
Yep.
ticket is what they'll have.
Yes, name on plane ticket. Even if you don't like it, go by a nickname. Good thing. All right, so just a couple things to consider, as we're going to this tropical paradise. Okay, there's only 2 summer months, or two months, summer and winter, and we're, barely in the winter, right? Because And so the average temperature, and you can't hold us to this, but just think that it kind of affects your packing. 78 degrees, nighttime, it gets cool. I'm not gonna lie. Those trade winds it's beautiful. There's no humidity, there's always a breeze, it's great. The ocean is always nice and toasty, it's great, okay? And rain doesn't last, it probably will rain every day a little bit. It's the way, and when we're on the north side of the island, it's how it works. But they call it liquid sunshine, so it's just beautiful. It goes away soon. Okay, and I know there's probably some packing things that we want to dovetail on here. So to Hawaii. So if you haven't gotten it, you're going to get it tonight or this week if we haven't figured that completely out yet. But it's the Hawaii shirt. It's a pink shirt, right? It looks like this. Beautiful. So every kid, adult, we should wear this on our way to Hawaii. Okay, it's just an easy way for us going through the airport with 120 kids on flight group 1 and 2 to oh, there, all those kids, yeah, all right. So it makes it super easy, super great shirt. And then on the way back to Ohio, then to help us just keep track of the kids, we want the show shirt, the Unexplained or the Nexus shirt, okay? And then here's the thing that's not really published anywhere, but you just need to listen very carefully. Okay, so I already told you that your luggage is going to go from the belt to the hotel room. Okay, that's going to be a little bit of a delay. There's 276 people. Okay, so you need to have something in your carry-on bag, personal item, that you can use and do between the time you get to the hotel and by the time your luggage shows up in your room. Now you might be able to get into your room before your luggage arrives, just because of the logistics of all that. Okay, you can pack a swimsuit, you can pack a book. You just think through that. Okay. Yeah, okay, there it is. All right, so did you anything that you guys want to say about the packing? Anything or anything that in addition? No, okay. Okay, so uniforms, all uniform parts have to go in your check bag. Okay, so you're going to get that top, and then the black pants that you wear for your regular season, they go in there. And then we have 2 performances. So you just got to think that through, right? So you need drill masters, you have the black crew socks, the marching band pants, the uniform top, a base layer, the guard. I'm not really sure. I put put question marks there because guard, it's I don't know but do you want this?
So all guards, you can have your uniforms already. Remember the undergarment sessions we had? Bring your jazz shoes. Okay?
Jazz shoes and jazz hats. Okay, so no shakos, no hats, no gloves, just that. The hair, we need the hair to be pulled back so that it can't interfere with your performance, and then everybody has to be clean. You have to look professional. We're going to a national memorial site, and there are going to be people there. It's a very reverent, very solemn, but very powerful place. Okay, so common sense. I mean, you can read, but it's 8 days. You got to have something that can keep you dry and keep you warm. Don't wear jeans to the beach. Okay. Don't pack combat boots. Okay. You don't need to bring a beach towel. Beach towels are provided by the hotel, and the hotel will walk us through that exactly how that all works, how you can take it, because you're going to take it from the hotel, and when we go to Secret Island, you're going to take. So you just take. You don't have to pack that. Please don't pack that. Okay, hands down. Okay. All right. Also, you bring your phone. Yeah. What? Yeah. Can you put it in the chat? Put it in the chat, and I'll get it. All right. You got to bring your phone because that's your mode of communication. The portable charger because that's what we've got. The headphone. It should be plural. All these things, right? So, I'm sorry, students. I don't think we won the battle for you to be able to access one login while in Hawaii. Okay, moving right along. But the staff, I do think that we've got that figured out. We are going to have access, so we won that one. Yeah. Okay, so spending money. As a dad, these are things I want to know. So 3 lunches, 3 dinners not included. I talk to the gateway people who are like, yeah, 20-ish. Like, yeah, right. But it just really depends on how your kid eats, In Hawaii, right? So it's like, well, How much is a pineapple? Way more than you think, okay? So, and then there's a dinner at the airport on the return. Beach activities, rentals, shopping, souvenirs, so much opportunity to spend money, it's insane, okay? So just keep that in mind. You know, my kid would travel with the credit card, and I'd be like, all right, this is great. And we'd sell one when we got back. Okay, so are we good? Anything?
So the question is about the trumpets.
Yes. Yes, this is a great question. Okay, thank you. And so here's what's going to happen is when we get to Honolulu and we're getting all of our stuff and we're getting ready to get on the bus to go to the hotel, all of those instruments that you carried on, like the trumpets and saxophones, they're going to go with the instruments that were checked, and then you're going to put it on a truck, and then when we get to the hotel, you're going to actually take that instrument off the truck, because the bell people, they won't touch instruments. They'll touch your luggage, but they won't touch instruments. So they're going to take them off that truck, you're going to take it off the truck, and then there's going to be a storage room, and that's where it's going to remain. So it doesn't have to live in your hotel. It's a great question. Okay, so here we go. This is super important. This is always concerning to me, because there's a little backstory here that we've had a problem with this whole setup here getting out of Ohio in the past. So it's very important that everybody understands. Motor coaches, Croswell, VIP coaches are taking us to the airport. Okay, so just a show of hands, how many people know that they're in flight group 1 and 2? Okay, good. This is the start. Okay, so there should be 120 hands up in the air because that's about how many people are in that flight group. Okay, so here's the thing, is just some things to note as you go through this. Flight group 1 and 2 are combined, leaving CVG to DFW. That's Cincinnati to Dallas-Fort Worth. Okay, from Dallas-Fort Worth to Honolulu, you are on different planes. Okay, so this is some logistical things. So if you're in flight group 1 and 2, and you go to the school, right? So flight group 1 is going to depart from west, flight group 2 is going to depart from east. Okay, both American Airlines. If you go to school here, you park in your spot. If you don't go to school here, where should you park?
That's flight 4. But who's in flight 4? You're my people. So if you go to East and you're in flight 4, on this side of the building there's a tree line here by the hotel, and they want you to park right here in staff parking because there's a camper right here on the corner. So if you really need to leave a car, East people here, it's on this side of the building, the back, because there's a camera on the corner over here. So just in something marked staff if you need to leave it.
And then that also goes for like West chaperones. They're coming and then you don't have a, unless you ride with your kid and they can park in their spot, but right, they can park in the same spot, okay? So as we load the coach, as we've talked through this, there's 85 people in that first flight group that are leaving from West, okay? So we gotta get all this stuff on the coach. So here's the thing, we've talked about having the backup truck, to like transport stuff, but we can't guarantee, because you can't really get an answer out of the airport, are they gonna let that truck go where it needs to go so that we have access to it? Because, they might not. So they'll let the buses go, we know that. So here we go. So we're gonna get there, and the big instruments have to go on first. Those are the sousaphones, and so we're gonna need some help in the morning, right? As you drop your kids off, because we're all gonna be like keeping our eyes peeled open because it's early. I don't know if you noticed that. It's like 2 a.m. Okay, so there's all those big instruments, check luggage. That has to go on first, and then the small instruments, if there's room, carry-on bags, if there's room, but probably on top, okay? Big instruments, checked luggage, that goes underneath first, and then we'll just fill in as we go. Any questions about that? It's just kind of the way it is. Okay, so flight group 2, see the time, you have to know the time, okay? Because here's the thing, is the airport opens at 4 o'clock. Okay, it's not really enough time, because some of these flights leave. Okay, so it's not really enough time. So we have to be there, ready to go, and we'll go through this in a minute, but so don't be late. We cannot be waiting for you in the middle of the night. Got it? All right, flight group 3. How many people are in flight group 3? Delta. Okay, good. So This one's leaving on an east if you're going to park into your normal spots. If you don't normally drive to east on a regular school day, you park on the blue lines right there near the 50-yard line of the town. Okay? That's all you got to do. Okay, here's the thing, 50 people, 1 passenger, so this one bus, okay, 54 people, it's going to be full. But based on what kind of like who's on that bus and what equipment they're bringing, I think it's going to be fine, but you have to load the exact same order. Okay, flight group 4, this is the one that Mr. Selleck just talked about. If you're in flight group 4, do you know who you are? Yeah? Okay, this is our flight group that has, it's our We Are Lakota flight group because we have East and West kids in that flight group. Not very many East kids. Okay, so here's the thing I need all of you to understand is that flight group is leaving from this building. Okay, all the East kids that are on flight group 4 leave from this building. Got it? Don't go to East because you're going to be in the wrong spot. Okay, you already know where to go.
Also, group 4, our connection is quick. So just have in your mind that we're gonna, like, the plane lands, like holding hands, crossing the street, no talking, no bathrooms, no, can I get a taco? Like, no. Because if you were with us with Utah, we did the same thing and we lucked out because it was the same plane. So we got off and then right back on the same plane. I sat in the same seat. I imagine probably it'll be in a whole different terminal that there's security to get to. So on my flight, flight 4, we're gonna like hold hands and do like little kid leashes and no fun of any kind because we do have a, 64 people, so they're probably not going to leave us, but let's not find out.
All right, and then flight group 5. Okay, there's all the people. Yeah, here we go.
One more thing for flight 4. Charity, can you stand up? She is your flight leader. For anyone who doesn't know her, she's the flight leader for West. So either Mr. Selleck or Charity Feedley, look for them if you are uncertain about where to go or what to do or which bus to get on or anything like that. Thank you.
We have a medical update.
So for Tuesday morning for medications, if your student takes a morning medication, we are still, even though we're leaving at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, we're going to assume that you gave your child their morning medication at home unless you reach out directly to us and let us know that you want us to give it to them on the plane. The medications will be there, but we are going to assume that it was already given unless you contact us.
Great, all right, so moving right along. Okay, airport check-in. Okay, this is a thing. This is where we need you to be an adult. Okay, like shed the junior high, put on the high school adult things. Okay, because we're in the system and we have to act appropriately. So there will be a gateway representative at CDG, Cincinnati, to assist with all the check-in. It's great. Okay, because they're like, what do we do? Colin will be here, not this Colin, different one. Okay, from Gateway, coming down from Minnesota, and the sole purpose of just making sure that all these flight groups get out. Okay, so when we get to the airport, you have to get all the stuff off the bus. Okay, and then I know you're like, okay, I've got my luggage, I got the sousaphone. Why did I play sousaphone? Okay, and then you've got all this stuff, and then you got your carry-on bag, and you're like, I get this to the airport. And like, why are the flights so long? Okay, so all that stuff, we have a ton of help, okay, all hands on deck. So if you see your friend that's struggling, just help them out, okay? And so, oh, there's nothing. We want you to get, all the tickets are issued alphabetically. Gateway doesn't do it, just how the airline does it with groups. So a lot of times when groups check in, the ticket agent, they're the boss. Whatever they want to do, we just are yes, whatever you want. Because we want them to make our experience expedited. So it's best if we get as close as we can into alphabetical order before we go up to that ticket counter.
So the students are checking around.
Yeah. So everything, yeah. All the instruments are getting checked by the kids. So if I play sousaphone, I'm taking that up there and we're lugging that thing on there. Yeah, that's why it takes a little bit of time. So 4 o'clock, the thing opens. Hopefully we're there and we can be like knocking on the door, let us in, and we can be queued up, ready to go. Okay, so ID. Okay, so this is an important one, just kind of a point of distinction. The law only says that ticketed passengers 18 and older have to present a government-issued ID, driver's license, passport. Okay. Now, here's what I would tell my kid. They're not 18, they turned 17 today. Okay, so Emmy, here, take your driver's license and take it to the airport with you. Okay, keep it. Because it's your ID, it's your identification. You're traveling 4,000 miles away, I want that on you. You don't lose it, but you know. Okay, and then if you don't have a driver's license, then take your school ID. Just so that you have something. Okay, they shouldn't ask because they're going to see all these kids in the pink t-shirts. They're like, oh, okay. Okay, so they're just going to like, let's go. Okay. Okay, so when you drop off, so you're going to present that ID, in two places. You're going to give it to the ticketing agent before they give you your boarding pass, and then you're going to give it at security. We'll talk about that in a second. So when you check all your bags, then they're going to give you a boarding pass. Okay, and they're going to give you 2 boarding passes. They're going to give you the one to get on the plane in Cincinnati, and then they're going to give you one wherever your connection is. And we need you to give, we don't trust you, but we don't trust you. Okay, so we want you to give that other boarding pass to your chaperone so that they keep it and then it's on them. Okay, and then we're only dealing with one thing. Okay, so you give it to them for safekeeping. And then once you get to that connecting destination, they'll reissue. Okay, it's pretty simple. Okay, so in the band here in about like 15 minutes, there's going to be a TSA guideline travel checklist link posted. Okay, it's just for those of us who've traveled before. I just always have this discussion with my kids. It's like, what's a liquid? Like, okay, well, no, that's a paste. Well, what's a paste? I'm like, so just go to the website. We always pull up the website, even though we're all seasoned travelers. Like, all right, just let's look. Has anything changed? So that's why I put it out there, just so you can all check with it. Remember the 3-1-1 rule, right? Quart size bag. All those things really matter. Okay, you can have 2 things. You have your instrument, it's considered a carry-on, and a personal item. So carry-on, personal item. You know when to present the ID. Act professional. I can't stress this enough. Act professional. I use that word because it's like, professional. Right? We're all acting professional right now. This is what you need to do. Follow directions, respond appropriately. You do those things, and you're going to be fine. Not just in the airport, but in general.
I told this to West people when we flew to Utah, but it's super important that you do whatever the TSA people say, even if you think they were being a jerk, even if you think it was different at the last airport, and you're like, the last airport I didn't have to get my iPad out. Do what they say, because the story I tell is, when I was a kid, we were going on a scout trip to Sea Base, some of you know where that is in Florida, and we go to the airport, and this was 2002, that's an important thing to know, it was 2002, and this kid I knew, got stopped, just the random search. They were real serious in 2002, and he could not take a joke, and he goes, what, it's not like I have a in my suitcase? And that kid got the cavity search, he got the strip search, he got the extra search. Don't do it. Don't be funny in airports. Don't think that you can have a debate with the TSA agent about how they should be doing their job. Don't do it. Yes sir, no sir. That kid had a bad time. There's just certain things you don't say.
Mic drop. All right. And so, I don't really think it's necessary for any of you to bring your Chromebooks, right? Because they're not going to work in Honolulu anyway. So, anything bigger than a cell phone has to come out of your bag, generally. I mean, it's just general, because they change. Okay, so, getting on the airplane. So, at the discretion of the flight crew, you can change seats. Right? But like, we can't tell you can do that because they might say no. Okay? And that's just kind of game time decision. You got to read the room. Like, is it going to be okay for me to switch like 3 seats over, and is it going to be okay? I mean, but if you like grab all your stuff and are making a commotion, they're going to get mad at you really fast because you're delaying the flight departing out of there. Just make new friends, right? It's fine. We're all Lakota kids. Just make new friends. Jet lag. So here, I think what's worked for me is when I'm flying west, I try to stay awake. It's super hard because I'm like really tired because I don't know about you, but I'm a procrastinator and I don't go to bed on time the night before. And some of you aren't really, I'm not even sure you're going to bed, but you can't even 2 o'clock in the morning. So, but you have to stay awake because that's going to help your clock adjust when you get out there. Because you're going to get out there and you're going to wake up super early in the morning. It's just the way it is. It's like the 6 a.m., the 5 a.m. breakfast thing. You're like, oh my gosh, like you'll be up at 3. You're like, where's the food? Right? It's not a big deal. So And then on the way back, we're all on what they call the red eye on the way back. So when you land, your eyes are red because you've been on the plane all night. Okay, so you need to sleep on the way back because we need you in school the next day after you get back. Okay. So the layovers, and I know Mr. Selleck already talked about this, but flight group 4 is the only one that doesn't have a reasonable connection, gate to gate. If you get there and there's a little bit of time, everybody's at the gate, and then you can kind of like scope it out and figure out what you have time to do. Okay, but gate to gate first. You shouldn't ever plan, because weather delays, you know, who knows, right? You should never plan on being able to get food at the airport. Pack something in your luggage. If you can, bonus, right? If you got something for when you get to Honolulu. Pack some snacks. Remember, no liquids, right? And they're going to take that away at TSA. So if you're counting on that great, you know, green juice that you bought at home, they're going to take it, and you're going to have to buy it again and spend twice as much anyway. So, you know, some people have problems with the pressure, you know, and like I always kind of like feel like a guppy, but like if you chew gum, bring gum. Try to bring them in. Do something to, you know, help you with that, because there's nothing worse than having a headache and, you know, your supply, you get there. It'll go away, I promise. The palm trees make everything go away. Okay, so 5 hours, yes, okay.
So for West chaperones, I don't know exactly how East is doing the chaperoning, but when you're in the airport, we will try to figure out how to keep you with the kids, especially when they're coming out of security. You want to make sure that you've got your 8 to 12 with you before you head to the gate. So we are trying to do smaller groups that'll be easier to keep track of everybody. 7 on flight 1, 4 chaperones on flight 4.
Awesome. All right, so just something to keep in mind, Hawaii is 5 hours behind Cincinnati. So at 6 p.m., it was 1 o'clock in Honolulu. So right now, it's pushing 2 o'clock in Honolulu. You just got to keep that in mind as you're trying to talk to your kids, right? So we kind of went over this, but it's worth noting again. So when you get there, you're going to retrieve your instruments at baggage claim. Okay, and this is where those luggage tags come into play. So you're going to place the luggage in a designated area, and you're going to place the instruments on the truck. You'll get it. It'll be fine. Okay, but they need to have those luggage tags on. Okay, and that'll be delivered to your room. Those 2 things. So if you carried it on the plane as a carry-on, it goes now on the truck. And then it's a coach transfer to the hotel. Nothing can go under the coach. They stress that to me pretty hard. Nothing goes under that coach. Only the carry-on stuff, and it literally gets carried on with you. And then there we go. Recommend to pack something to do. So when you arrive at the hotel, there it is. You're going to claim your instrument. That was in the chat there, the back channel. So I thank you for that, Mr. Roski, Mitchell. You're going to claim your instrument, put it in the storage room so that you don't have to do it as you're putting on the bathing suit. And, you know, there are bathrooms that, I mean, you'll figure it out, right? I mean, you'll figure it out how to get into if you can't get into your room, you'll figure it out. Okay, so then the land-only people, this is where the land-only people can meet up with us. You can connect with us anytime really after 1 p.m. Okay, and if there's a situation where it needs to be earlier than 1 p.m., if you'll just personally send me an email, I'll work it out with you. Okay? We're doing great. So hotel logistics are going to be covered by our people once we're in Hawaii. Okay, we have 2 gateway tour managers that are going to be with the group the entire time, and then a local tour guide. They're with us for the entire time. So dinner is on your own that first night, and I'm telling you, this is not it's not a normal hotel. Okay, it's insane, the opportunities and options to eat. It's great. So you get there, and you're gonna have to find something to eat. You're gonna be hungry. You're not gonna really know what end is up, but you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be in Hawaii and be like, this is great. Okay, and so then at 8 o'clock. And we'll push this out in the band because right this time the Hilton doesn't tell us exactly where it's going to be. But the Tapas Conference Center, it's a building. That's a building at the Hawaiian Village, and they're going to tell us exactly what room is our room. And we're going to go there, and we're going to actually share that room initially with the security briefing with another group. So there'll be a lot of kids in that room, and then either we'll go someplace or they'll go someplace, and that'll be our first opportunity just to have a sit down with all the kids and all the adults before we kind of like break for the evening, okay? Be our first opportunity. All right, so now we're down to these days. So I just, you know, you can read the itinerary, but I just want to like highlight a couple things. We always walk to breakfast, you just got to keep that in mind. Breakfast is not on site there, we always eat at the Hard Rock Cafe. I didn't know the Hard Rock Cafe served breakfast, but apparently they do for us, and so we're going to eat it every single day. I don't know what that all's going to look like. Okay, and sometimes we're going to load the coaches from Hard Rock, and other times we're not. So on this day, we're going to load the coaches from Hard Rock, and this is all the things that we're just kind of push out in the band. So you don't have to remember this, it's just kind of like overview, just kind of get your mind thinking about this. Because you're going to have to bring everything that you need for that day. Okay, we're going to go to the Dole Plantations where the pineapples grow. It's like super cool. Okay, and you go in there, and there's this thing called Dole Whip. Yeah, it's amazing. Absolutely. They have it in Disney World and Disneyland. You know, it's just it's imitation. The real stuff is right there at the Dole Plantation. There's a maze. It's for you. It's free. Go do it. Right? Okay. So then after the maze, we're going to go on the Polynesian Cultural Center. Hands down, the most unique experience that I've ever done. It is incredible, and I encourage you to immerse yourself in everything. Take the opportunities, go outside your comfort zone, do some of the things, do some of the activities that they're doing. It's all the islands of Polynesia. It is great. Okay, it's a great fun time. Lunch is on your own there. It's like park food, right? Okay, and then dinner is buffet dinner. It's great, and then there's this beautiful Breath of Life show. It's in this big amphitheater. It's awesome. Okay. Tuesday, look at that, breakfast at Hard Rock. Okay, and so here's like our first opportunity, it's some free time. Okay, Thursday is Thanksgiving, you know, football, you know, I'll be up and watching football. So the Moana Shopping Center, that's that one that is nice that you have to take like a bus to get to. And it's okay. And we'll solve all those things and we'll answer questions, because I can't answer them all now. You would forget, it's fine. The Royal Hawaiian International Marketplace, there's places just to go. And lunch is on your own that day. Now, keep in mind, we're having turkey dinner. We're having it. So just keep that in mind, because it's all there. So we're gonna there'll be a time when we meet. It's on the itinerary, but we'll meet. Board the coaches, go to the dinner. That's the private event. So unless you're on the tour, you're not in the private event. Sorry. And then we come home that evening, Thanksgiving. We all just kind of like relax at the pool. I mean, what better way to spend Thanksgiving evening, but then by the pool or the lagoon there at the Hawaiian Village. Super awesome. Okay. So Friday is parade day. So the breakfast at the Hard Rock, leisure time in the morning, and then we're gonna walk to the picnic. Picnic lunch is just down in the park, just down the beach a little bit. Some of you might have already know where it is because you went there and kind of were walking around. Remember, you're walking around in groups, right? And if you're off hotel property, put that location service on. You've worked it out with your chaperone, so we know where you are. Okay. The lunch, there's no tables at that park. Sorry, I don't know. So the gateway said, just bring the towel from the hotel. Right now, here's the thing: is you can take the towel, but if you don't return the towel back, guess what happens? We get charged. I'm sorry, you get charged. Okay. So dinner's on your own after the parade route. So here's the thing for the chaperones and followers. Okay, so the stipulation is that only the staff members so the nurses, all of us, the 11 of us, we can all walk the parade route with the kids, but what we want you to do is position yourself along with the parade route and just enjoy the parade. It's super cool, tiki lit, it's a night parade, it's a super fun, festive atmosphere. Okay, so just, and then when we get to the end of the parade, the kids all get bused back. There is no room on those buses for the chaperones anyway, so just can keep that in mind. And all the specific information, again, goes out in the band because, what good does it do to really talk about all that right now. Okay, so this is fun. This is a historical day. So Saturday, it's early. By this point, you'll start to adjust, like, all right, I like Hawaii, and then it'll be time to go home. But so here's the thing that I just need you to remember about this day is that you're going to be dressed in your uniform because of how this day built out. It's going to be dressed in your uniform for the entirety of the day. Okay, you will have the opportunity to change before you go to dinner. Okay, so there will be that. So I just need you to remember that, that Arizona is really the final resting place for over 1,100 people who lost their lives there in December of 1941. Okay, so we'll present a wreath at the base of the Marble Memorial there after you ride the boat out there. We'll coordinate all that. I mean, we can't all be on the boat together. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. So as we get there, That's what the band app's for. I mean, it's all fine. It's all scripted out. You don't need to know. Here's what you do need to know is that the visit includes a 45-minute program and the ferry ride out there. But then there's a separate, like, 23-minute documentary about just what happened there at Pearl Harbor that I think every single one of you need to watch. It'd be like one of the most, like, wow, 23 minutes. Okay, so all those things go on there. And you know, if there's any place that you're going to choose to be an adult, it's here. Everything that you do here has to be above the line, 100% respectful, because you just don't know. People come from all over the world to see what happened here. So just keep that in mind. And then we play at the USS Missouri. So we've been practicing arcing up. Okay, we're going to be on the dock. We're going to face the USS Missouri, and we're going to play the tunes. It's super cool. We're going to march across the bridge. It's great. And just when you stand there and you just think about what happened and what you have the opportunity to do. Sorry, I might cry. Okay. Sunday, early morning, breakfast, Hard Rock. Okay, we're going to load the boat coaches at Hard Rock and bring everything you need for the day because now we're going to the secret island. Where is it? I don't know. It's a secret. Okay? It's a private event, and the secret island is, you know, on the other side of the island. So then there's this lookout. We're going to stop on the way back. Just an opportunity just to... So as you're traveling, tell the parents, right? As you're traveling on the bus, look out the window. Get your head out of your phone. Save the battery. You're in paradise. Look. Take pictures. Get your head out of the phone. Don't be playing silly games on your phone. Please. Take advantage of it. Dinner on your own, free time at the hotel. Okay. Okay, so see, we're almost done. Because travel home. So breakfast at Hard Rock, free time until the departure. And then, so what they do is kind of like spend on a cruise, they do a luggage pull. Okay, so it's going to be for everybody except for flight group 3 because of how your schedule works. You have to leave your room at 11 o'clock and you leave your luggage, your checked luggage with your name on it in the room. Okay, and then we're going to go through all these details because we just reverse the process. The nice thing about leaving Hawaii is that all gateway, everybody's there, all hands on deck, and they're there to assist us, you know, making that process, getting off the island as seamless as possible. But all the things, you know, apply. There's a hospitality room, okay, and we'll talk about what that looks like, you know, if you need that, and, you know, where you put your luggage. You don't have to, like, sit by the pool with your bag, right? If there's a place that's all thought through, you don't need to know it right now. All you need to know is that it's thought through, and it'll be fine. Okay, just something that you have to remember, though, is you can't take perishable things off the island. Okay, so plants or foods have to stay there. Sorry. Now, at the Dole Plantation, you can, like, you know, buy the pineapple, and then they'll, like, ship it, or they put a tag on it. I can't remember how that is, but, you know, that's it. So you can't just go to the market, buy a mango, and think you're going to be able to get it home, because you're not. The mango has to stay. Enjoy it in Hawaii, and then buy the overpriced, you know, unripe mango here at Kroger. Yeah, and so when we, the process of paying for everything, Gateway pays for everything, all of it all goes through security, everything is just the reverse of everything, and it's all included. So, you know, if your bag was 49.8 pounds going and you bought a lot of souvenirs, you got a problem. Okay? Figure it out. Okay? Right, no mangoes. Okay. All right, so this just kind of like, there's only 3 kind of departure groups because of how it works. Flight group 3, see the bag pulls 11, why would you put your bag? So then 2, 3:45. Okay, and then, you know, the return, I don't know, we could throw a dart at the screen, but I don't know, check the itinerary, check your, you know, by the time we're stateside, you know, we're making the connections, you know, just keep track of where your kids are, and we'll get a revised itinerary of arrival time back here. Okay, so we're in this back channel thing, so there were 3 things put in here like this. I think Ms. Orozco already got there, where students go straight to their hotel room. Yeah, okay, so how will people who won't be in Hawaii be able to watch the parade? Yeah, I don't have the exact answer to that. I don't think you can. Yeah, well, it's on YouTube. We'll figure that one out. I don't have the answer to that. Yeah, it's that good point, 2 in the morning, 5-hour time difference. Okay, what's your plan for, oh, if the luggage tags fall off, Gateway will give us more. I think. I'm sure they will. They have those, those are great questions. Okay, and you're gonna have additional questions, okay, and it's all totally fine, but you just gotta remember, don't ask what if questions, don't ask questions that mean like for more than, right, less than 3. You can ask us one-on-one, but you can post these in the band and we're gonna monitor this. Right?
Please do not use the general chat in the band app. Do not send messages through the general chat. It is really important that we keep that open for things that are like mandatory. And when it's just like a lot of just random questions, I think psychologically people tend to tune it out. Okay, so if you have a question, you can send a direct message to myself or to Mr. Tanis or to one of the directors.
Or write to the chaperone.
Or write to the chaperones. But do not use the general chat. That needs to be something for us to be able to give instructions and things to people. So just wanted to clarify that. Okay?
All right, so you just got to remember that this is a huge undertaking. It's going to be the time of our life, and we're all here just to make sure that these kids, they deserve to have the absolute best experience. Some of that, it's a shared responsibility. They own some of that responsibility in being able to make sure that they're making good decisions and representing themselves and our community. And then it's our job to make sure that everything happens. Okay, uniform stuff.
On your way out, the uniforms for Hawaii, except guard, because I think you already have them, are on Main Street. Whoa, don't go anywhere. Sit, chill. Because I think he has a couple more things. Is east there right outside the door here. You have a couple of stations to go to. West people, it's about halfway down on the left, and just take your red bag. And then, so if you parked that way, go to Main Street first and then come back, because if you don't get your uniform and things, you won't have them for Monday, and then you'll look very silly in your t-shirt.
Okay, so they're in the chat in the band. All right, so we'll look at the chat in the band.
Boys are on the left, girls are on the right for east.
For east, outside of Main Street, girls are on the right, boys on the left.
Girls are always right.
All right, and if there's anything else, mahalo, thank you so, yes, what? All right, thank you all so much. I'm going to put the code back up here for the band. And here it is in 3, 2, 10.